My name's Rush Roberts. I'm 41. I'm originally from Bandera, Texas. I live in San Antonio, Texas right now. I was asymptomatic. I only got tested because my dad had the condition. The scans revealed a slight thickening near the valve muscle, so I started an intense routine that lasted about a year. Stress tests, MRIs with dye, CAT scans, EKGs, ECGs, Holter monitors, anything you can think of. I didn't like it at all. I was in my early 30s and I felt okay. I lost a little bit of weight just to be safe. I wasn't in peak condition by any means, but I wasn't in terrible shape. After about a year, I was really hating it. Not the actual condition, but the constant barrage of tests and appointments. Being a guinea pig for everybody to listen to my novelty heartbeat. Getting poked and prodded for labs every few months. Before I knew it, a year had passed since my last checkup, so I finally went back to the doctor. I was an AFib, and they sent me straight to the hospital because I was in the early stages of heart failure. I spent that night in the ICU waiting for my blood pressure to come down enough for them to cardiovert me out. I got lucky. Further tests would show that the thickening had grown, so we decided to go ahead with surgery to alleviate the extra pressure on my heart. This was about 3 years after my first diagnosis. So 5 years ago, I had a myectomy at a high volume center of excellence. After cardiac rehab, I was back to work within a couple of months. A year after surgery, I was in the best shape I'd been in for over a decade. I lost about 30 pounds since the operation. I was going on 8-mile hikes on the weekends. Then one morning I woke up, it was a Monday morning, I woke up, my heart rate was near 200. We went to see my HCM clinic. The nurses took my EKG and they just flipped out. Fortunately, the arrhythmia broke right before the doctor was about to put the paddles on me. And I was taken about 100 yards right next door to the hospital. They kept me for a couple of days while they tried to figure out what to do with me. At one point, I had nothing but water to eat or drink for about 40 hours. They finally sent me home with a new prescription for antiarrhythmia drugs, one of those portable defibrillator vests, and an ablation scheduled for the next month. Arrhythmia is unpredictable, overwhelming, and terrifying. There is no silver lining. It creeps up on you a few skipped beats at a time here and there. It sneaks in while you're asleep to assault your senses when you wake up. Or sometimes it just falls on you like a pile of bricks when you're having an otherwise fine day. It can smother you, especially your nerves, as you can think of nothing else except how fast your heart is pounding. Is it slowing down gradually? Is it quickening? How long has it been now? 20 minutes or 20 hours? Is this how my grandfather died back before HCM was discovered? How many vaguely worded coronary failure deaths on the family tree does this explain? It does a real number on your state of mind, and it's intricately wrapped up with a creepy anxiety that clenches its tentacles around you while you're sitting there just willing your heart to slow down. I had 4 ablations in the span of 2.5 years. Living with arrhythmias is a long game fraught with uncertainty. One of the ablations effectively stopped my AFib, but then atrial tachycardia cropped up. It's a delicate balance of medication, controlled exercise, and the worst and most difficult part, just managing stress. I gave up drinking before I had surgery, and I've given up coffee in the last year. I walk about 3 miles each morning. In the year and a half since my last ablation, I've lost a lot of the weight I've put on over the past few years, and I feel the healthiest I've been in a while. But I haven't won. There's no winning when you're equipped with an HCM heart. There are incremental things that can feel like small victories. Breaking even in the long run is considered a feat. It's always there, just lurking beneath the surface and ready to pounce when you begin to let your guard down. If you get a few nights of bad sleep in a row, if you have that glass of iced tea with lunch, if you don't hydrate enough in the heat. Any of those things and a million other tiny things can send your heart into triple time. The electronic pulses defying every ounce of control that your mind and body try to deploy. When you're in it, it's all you think about. And when it breaks, all you think about is the fear of it returning again. If I could give one message to younger people getting diagnosed with this condition, especially those who are asymptomatic, take it seriously. Do yourself a huge favor. Ask your doctor about mental health. Get a referral and speak to someone about it. You're getting a pretty ominous card dealt to you out of nowhere, and nobody's equipped to handle something like this on their own. I didn't start seeing a therapist till I was way into my arrhythmia. I had one failed ablation behind me and another postponed one ahead of me. It's worth it, even just to blow off your frustrations at the whole thing. HCM is a life-changing and often life-threatening diagnosis. It should go hand in hand with a healthier mind and body, and your cardiologist should be supportive and open with any questions you have about anything. Stress and heart conditions are a nasty combination. If the last few months have taught us anything, it's the importance of willingly accepting a new normal in our lives. Most of us with HCM have been constantly doing this for years, reshaping our routines and lifestyles as needed as new medications or conditions crop up. There are highs and there are lows. The trick is to get all the enjoyment you can out of living in the middle. The rest of it's going to pan out no matter what. It's up to us to be ready for it.